Hey, what's going on, everyone? How is everyone doing this evening? Right back at you with another live stream. I kind of like the glow my skin has with that ring light. Anyways, I was in my bed after work, laying down, taking a power nap. I never actually sleep, but I like to rest my body. And I was thinking about what to talk about on this live stream. And hi, YT Jack. And so I kept getting these Tom Brady videos all up in my algorithm, which is kind of interesting and surprising because I never really go out of my way to search Tom Brady on my YouTube channel. So, out of curiosity, I watched a couple of videos and I was actually quite surprised, with the negative light that some people were shining on him as far as his decisions post-career. Hey, welcome to the stream. And, I'm not going to get too deep into Tom Brady's career. He's a legend in his own right. He owns a lot of NFL records, but he's made some head-scratching decisions post-retirement. And I actually comprised a list of some of the things that he's done since he's retired from football. Some of them don't surprise me because they are sports related, but there are a couple towards the end of this list that quite frankly leave me scratching my head because they're not sports related and they're quite random, and they don't really seem like anything Tom Brady would normally do. And so here's a list of some of the things Tom Brady has done post-retirement. One of the first things he did was he signed a 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox to be a sports commentator on the program. And this doesn't come too much of a surprise because it's sports related and they were willing to throw a whole boatload of money at him. And so I don't blame him for taking that opportunity. And then there was the infamous Tom Brady roast in which he obviously took a part in. And Tom Brady has also promoted flag football while attempting to promote it globally through the Saudi royal family centers. Again, that's not surprising because that's sports related. But this is where things kind of get weird. Tom Brady and WWE star Logan Paul have been participating in a highly viral manufactured feud, widely speculated to be building towards a future WWE match. There was also an event in which he was with Logan Paul, and I think the event was Fanatics Fan Fest. And you can watch this video on YouTube, but Tom Brady actually slaps Logan Paul in the face. And I'd like to believe like this whole scenario is manufactured, but like what in the world is Tom Brady doing with Logan Paul? It just doesn't seem like anything Tom Brady would do during his playing career. So I'm just kind of surprised, and it kind of leaves me scratching my head because I never thought that I would see Tom Brady and Logan Paul even be talked about in the same conversation. So this kind of back and forth feud between the two, I'd like to think it's manufactured, especially the slap to the face during that event. But it just strikes me as very odd, and I can't really believe that Tom Brady would do something like that. And then there was also the endorsement with Pizza Hut in which Tom Brady appeared in a couple of Pizza Hut commercials. Hi, Squish Devil. And, if you remember towards the latter half of Tom Brady's career, he was all about the avocado ice cream and the TB12. And, he talked endlessly about Alex Guerrero and how his regiment has helped him extend his career. And so all of a sudden, like, Tom Brady is in these Pizza Hut commercials, and it's just like, can you picture Tom Brady eating Pizza Hut pizza? Because he was a health nut. He always talked about eating healthy, and to see him in a Pizza Hut commercial, it's like, what are you doing? it almost seems as though like Tom Brady isn't saying no to anyone these days. As long as there's a check involved, it seems like he's saying yes to everyone. But yeah, like I said, some of the things make sense because they're sports related, and then some of these things like the association with Logan Paul and then appearing in Pizza Hut commercials. So yeah, like those last two things that I just talked about strike me as odd, and I'm not quite sure why he's doing them. The only thing I can think of is, during Tom Brady's career, he was very disciplined. He was all about football 24/7. And now that he's retired, it almost seems as though he feels like he's finally living a life of freedom. He's no longer married, no longer playing football, and maybe he's just having fun. Maybe it's just as simple as that. But I've noticed a lot of sports talk radio and a lot of YouTube channels have been criticizing him because of the sheer amount of things he's done post-retirement. And I'm not really giving him that same criticism. It was only those two things, like the association with Logan Paul and like that manufactured feud between the two. Like, where is that leading to? And those Pizza Hut commercials. Like, those are like the only two things I would criticize him on. But anyways, feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think about some of Tom Brady's decisions post-retirement. What's going on, everyone? Do we have any football fans here? Has anyone else followed the negative commentary on Tom Brady? One of the YouTube thumbnails was actually calling Tom Brady a cornball. So I think a lot of these sports talk, YouTube channels and radio outlets, I think, they're just trying to talk about anything and everything that's going to fill out time and space. And sometimes I think they take it a little too far. I think you have someone in Tom Brady that is just looking to like live life and have fun now that he's not attached to a marriage and football. But anyways, anyone that comes into this live stream, please like and comment because it helps with the algorithm. Hi Vahan, what's going on? How's everyone doing on this Monday evening? It's nice to get the Monday workday over with, or if you're in school, it's nice to get the school day over with. Hey Sabi, I think you're new to the stream. I've never seen you in before. What's going on? But yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, you can search on YouTube Tom Brady slapping Logan Paul on the face. And yeah, to me, it's got to be manufactured. I don't think that was organic. It's like the person that Tom Brady portrayed himself to be during his playing career was someone that always did the right thing and said the right thing. And, even his PR was great throughout his career. He never really went off the rails, and he seems to be doing the complete opposite during his retirement. Yo, the background is beautiful. Ah, thank you. You like it, huh? I put those lights up a couple years ago. I live up on the 3rd floor, so I kind of contend with the roof line. So I lose a lot of space in my room. And my house is actually quite dark, so I have to use a ring light to make the videos look at least halfway decent. But thank you, I appreciate it. No, it isn't the outside. I'm actually in my bedroom. This is my bedroom. But thank you for the compliment. I mean, I guess I could make my roof like I'm outside. Like, there's a lot of things you can buy on Amazon. They have like room illuminators. So you can have space on your ceiling, or you can have blue skies on your ceiling. No, it is not a green screen. The problem I have with green screen is just like, it's not a very clean look. No matter how I try to light it, you can always see the shadows, so it never really looks that good. Hi Adam, welcome. What's going on this evening? But yeah, this room is specifically dark because I have a window that faces north. So like I don't have any windows facing east and west, so I don't get any of the sunrise light in my room or the sunset light in my room. I only have one window, so it's pretty dark. No house tours. Sorry to disappoint you. The thing with live streams is like sometimes something that you don't want to show up on stream will show up on stream if you don't have your room completely picked up. And although I am a really clean person, I don't really like giving house tours for that reason. Do you use Fahrenheit or Celsius? Here in the United States, we primarily use Fahrenheit. Yeah, no problem, man. So is anyone here football fans? Anyone watch the NFL? Whenever I try to talk about sports on this live stream, I don't typically have sports fans coming in here. But I hope eventually I'll find my audience. But I appreciate you guys for coming in and spending some time here. What's your favorite football team? I should have actually been wearing my Tom Brady jersey since I was talking about him. I have quite the football jersey collection. I have Tom Brady, I have Darrelle Revis, I have Peyton Manning, I have Aaron Rodgers. I have quite the collection. It is 1:20 a.m. and 102 degrees Fahrenheit for me. Holy crap. What state do you live in, if you don't mind me asking? What country? Oh, like you mean like football as in soccer. So you're a soccer fan? Kuwait, wow. I mean, when it's that hot, you don't even want to be outside. It's 102 degrees Fahrenheit at 1:20 a.m. That's insane. You think that would be the high of the day, but like at that time of the morning, that's insane. Yeah, no problem. I get confused with like Europeans that call soccer football because I think they're talking about like the NFL. No problem. I saw Spain did win the World Cup over Argentina 1-0. It seemed like a snooze fest. Yeah, I think the Argentina's goalie had like 11 saves in the game. So he couldn't have done much more to allow his team to win the game, but Argentina didn't even score a goal. Yeah, that's way too hot. What do you do when it's that hot? Do you just stay indoors with air conditioning? Please tell me you have air conditioning. I had Lamine Yamal shirt. Nice. Yeah, like I could see the excitement in people with the World Cup. A lot of Europeans coming here to watch it. Maybe because I didn't grow up watching soccer. I grew up watching, the NFL and the NBA and the MLB and the NHL. I was never really subjected to soccer. So whenever we have the World Cup, I can appreciate people's excitement for it. But I have trouble getting excited for soccer. I've never really been able to sit down and watch a full soccer game. I fell asleep when they lifted the World Cup. I'm not surprised Spain won it because they were one of the favorites going into it. And I don't know why. Like I said, I'm not a soccer fan. I don't follow it very closely, but I was rooting for England. And then I think they ended up losing to, was it Argentina? And they had a 1-goal lead, and they ended up going into this prevent defense, and then they allowed Argentina to come back. Sometimes in the cars in direct sunlight, it becomes 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Rarely in the dash. Bro. That's I want to like open the car door. But I used to have this Nissan Maxima where if you hit on the key fob, if you hit the unlock button twice, the front windows would come down. So I suppose in a situation like that where the inside of your car is over 212 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that would be useful when you can have the windows come down before you get in. But I don't think most cars have that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's too hot. Hi Vesna, I see you. Welcome to the stream. So Adam, like when it's that hot, what do? You guys have air conditioning? I was surprised to learn recently that most of Europe does not use air conditioning, which is crazy. Hi, more Khaled. When I saw that screen name, it made me think of DJ Khaled. When Yamal was born, he got a photo shoot with Messi 19 years ago. Then Messi wore 19 and Lamine number 19, age 19, Sunday the 19th. That's crazy. A lot of coincidences there. I have, yes, but indoors it's so cold, but outside it's hot. Yeah, that's crazy. But I don't know. When I was like a kid, I didn't mind the cold so much. I'd be like one of those kids at the bus stop with no jacket on. I'd just be like sporting a t-shirt and people would be looking at me like I'm crazy, like, aren't you cold? And I'd be like, no. But like as I've gotten older, like my body's kind of changed and like I feel like I can't tolerate the cold anymore and I'd rather be in the heat. Like, I guess what I'm saying is like I've become more sensitive to extreme cold weather. And like it gets in my bones and it's so uncomfortable. I'd rather be hot and sweating outside, to be honest with you. And you know, if it's that hot, I'll just go inside with the air conditioning or I'll just go to the beach and jump in the water. I'm not a big soccer fan, honestly. And like I said, like I'm a big football fan, a big basketball fan, a big hockey fan. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I appreciate the sport. And I just think like, I mean, just those 4 sports alone, I mean, it's a lot to pay attention to. And so I just have never really gotten into soccer. For me, the beach, the shoreline is back. Yeah, like up here in New England, like we have some nice beaches, but like, okay, so like our hottest month of the year is July. And even if you go to the beach in July, like the ocean water temperature is like 70 to 75 degrees, which doesn't sound that cold, but when you get in it, it's actually quite cold. So like for me, yeah, I was talking about Tom Brady earlier on in the stream. He's not my favorite football player though. John Elway was my favorite football player. But what I'm saying is like, I don't really enjoy the beaches all that much around here because I think the water's too cold to really enjoy it. It's like, I find like when I get into the water, it's like a shock to the system. and it takes a few minutes for my body to acclimate to the temperature of the water. Whereas I went to Florida a couple of years ago, and I checked out a beach in Tampa Bay, and the beach was beautiful. It was beautiful white sand, and the water temperature was like, it must have been like 85, 90 degrees. And there was like no adjustment period. Like you just went into this water and it was immediately comfortable. So like that's the kind of beach I like. I think I prefer like tropical beaches where the water is not cold. Yeah, I'm originally from Lebanon, but I was born in Kuwait. Nice. I like getting people from all different parts of the world. It's interesting. Sabi, what do you mean by 24? You're 10 years old? Yeah, I have a lot of kids gravitate towards my channel, and I don't know why, but my audience is pretty young. I think it has something to do with the type of YouTube shorts that I do. Let me pull up the live stream. Yeah, it's just something that I've noticed. Whenever I do the live streams, I get a lot of, I get a very young audience in here. What do you guys think about my thumbnail? I think it came out pretty good. Hang on, guys. I just have to write a comment in the chat. My school starts at 7:30 and ends at 2 p.m. But sometimes I come at 6:30 and leave at 3:30. What's up, biker on wheels? Yeah, but I'm pretty excited about the prospect of the NFL training camp starting soon. I think veterans report at the end of this week. I think rookies are already reporting now. So it'll be nice to have football back. But the only sad thing about it is with the start of the NFL season means the end of summer. I was actually thinking about that this morning. I was on the way to work, and I realized that, hang on a sec. I realized it's July 20th, and it's like we're already more than a month into summertime, and we only have 2 more months of summer. And, a lot of people consider Labor Day the start of fall, at least the start of fall weather. I can't wait for Summer Special and FC Mobile. What is that? But yeah, it's like, where the hell does the time go? Like it's 1 month down, 2 months to go, and I haven't even done 5% of the things I wanted to do this summer. Haven't gotten to the beach, haven't went on vacation. I haven't really done anything fun. But I could really use I could use a vacation. Like FC26, but on mobile. What is FC26? That's what I'm asking. Sorry, but I don't recognize the abbreviation. Is it a game? It's a football soccer game like Madden. Oh, nice. So you play the mobile version? Do you have any video game consoles? And to anyone just popping in the stream now wondering why we're not talking about Tom Brady, I started off in the intro talking about Tom Brady. And then if nobody else is interested in talking about it, we kind of get into other conversations. So here we are now talking about video games. You have a PS5, so I have an Xbox Series X, a Nintendo Switch OLED, a PS4 Pro, and a PS3 Fat, the 2008 version. But if I'm being honest, I don't play video games nearly as much as I used to. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Honestly, the problem I have with most sports games is because it's a yearly release. It's almost like a copy paste every single year, especially with anything that EA puts out there. It's a copy and paste. It's nearly the same game every single year. And they use a lot of word salad in the game description to fool people into buying a game that they think is going to be completely revamped and new. And this is just coming from someone that fell for it for like many, many, many years with NFL Madden. And last year was the first year I didn't buy Madden the day it was released. I don't think I bought Madden 26 until mid-November. So I got it for like a third of the price. Chocolate, what's going on? That's an interesting username. Chocolata 8. What does that username mean? Does it have like is there a meaning behind it, or is it just a random username that you chose? Just random? I feel you on that. Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab an apple. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. All right, guys, I am back. All right, Chocolata, have a wonderful day, and thank you. Well, my day is coming to a close. I'll be sleeping in a few hours. If you're wondering, this is a Gala apple. I prefer Macintosh, but they're typically in season from early fall to like early spring. So one thing I really do enjoy doing at the start of fall is I love to go apple picking. Nothing quite tastes like a fresh apple from a farm. And I'll usually get a pretty good sized tote of fresh apples from the farm. And then I'm always quite sad when I finish all the farm grown apples, because that means I have to go back to eating store-bought apples, which have very minimal flavor. But I like to eat apples year-round, so I don't have much of a choice. I'm just wondering what it's going to take for me to get some sports fans up in here. I've gotten some soccer fans, but no NBA fans, no NHL fans, no NFL fans. I keep getting soccer fans in here. And then, like, that's the one sport I don't follow. But yeah, back to the Tom Brady thing. Like, if you think about the type of person he portrayed himself to be during his playing career, it was always about being disciplined, always about being on point with his PR. It's all about clean eating, happy marriage, and everything he's done post-retirement has been the complete opposite of what he did during his NFL career. It's almost like he just wants to enjoy his life now without any restraints. And quite frankly, I can't blame the guy. But like, if you're gonna talk about eating a clean diet and consuming, all that avocado ice cream, but then you're gonna put yourself in a Pizza Hut commercial, it's like, to me, it comes across as like a little disingenuine. Just be what you are. And the thing is, like, he's loaded. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars during his playing career. All of his endorsements, that $375 million contract he signed with Fox, amongst all the other things that he has contracts with. It's like, he's not a man in need of money, so I'm not quite sure why he's saying yes to all these things. But it is odd to see negative commentary about Tom Brady. Usually his videos praising his greatness. Anyways, I have some regulars on my stream, and sometimes they'll come out and ask me if I'm streaming. And anyways, here I am, but I don't see you guys on the stream tonight. Anyone want to see my NFL jersey collection? All right, I'll show it off. So I have, you guessed it, a Tom Brady, and these are all Nike jerseys. I have a Tom Brady jersey. I got this back in 2013. I had went to a Patriots practice, and then after the practice, I went to the Patriots shop and bought this. So this is about 13 years old, and it still looks brand new. I paid full price for that. I think back in those days it was $99 for a game day jersey. I have a Darrell Revis jersey. Now this jersey, I believe I got the following year. I think I got it, may have been 2014, 2015, but I think it might have been 15 because Revis was already off the team, and this jersey was discounted to $50. So I got this jersey at half the price, $49.99, back in, I want to say 2015. So it just goes to show you how much jerseys have went up over the years. And unfortunately, I did get a Mac Jones jersey back in the day because I thought he was going to be halfway decent. I primarily got it because I like the Minutemen jerseys. I like the red color. I like the design. I think they really stick out. But from the front, you would think it's Drake May because it's the same number. I got a Christian McCaffrey jersey when he left the Carolina Panthers to go to the San Francisco 49ers. This one was heavily discounted. This was the limited jersey. So I think these typically go for like $179.99, but I got it for $63.99 because it was on sale because he was no longer on the team. But it's a nice jersey. It's got a single stitch on the numbers. I got a Baker Mayfield back in his Cleveland playing days, but again, this jersey I also got discounted because I'm trying to remember what team he got traded to. Where did he go after Cleveland? Did he go to Tampa Bay immediately after he got traded from Cleveland? But anyways, this was also discounted. I think I paid $45.99 for this. This is also a limited jersey, so it's got the nice single stitch on the numbers. I have an Ezekiel Elliott. This was also discounted. This is another limited jersey where it's got the single stitch on the numbers. And I don't wear my jerseys all that much, usually only during football season. So even though a lot of these jerseys are old, they still look brand new. I try not to eat when I'm wearing them. Because, I mean, can you imagine eating pasta and then getting pasta sauce all over this? It would ruin it. I got a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey, another limited with the single stitch on the numbers. This is one of my favorite ones. This is a, now I'm a Denver Broncos fan, and hey, what's going on? So this jersey was really meaningful to me. I started watching the Denver Broncos in 1997, and I became a fan because of John Elway and Terrell Davis. And, you know, I got spoiled the first 2 years because they won back-to-back Super Bowls, and then, you know, they went 16 years without making the Super Bowl. So when they got back there, and they won it against the Carolina Panthers, it meant a lot to me. And so I got one with the Super Bowl 50 patch on it. I got to correct myself. They actually went to the Super Bowl 2 years previously in 2013, but they got walloped by the Seattle Seahawks. So the fact that they got to the Super Bowl within 2 years, they got back to the Super Bowl and won the championship and made that awful Super Bowl loss to the Seattle Seahawks sting a little bit less. But yeah, I like this jersey. It has the Super Bowl 50 patch on it. Yes, I remember you. I have another Peyton Manning jersey. I have like 3 of them. This one in the navy blue. I got this in 2013, as you can see. Still looks brand new. Not a single stain on these. What's going on? If I regret one purchase, it would be this one. It would be the Russell Wilson jersey purchase because he sucked when he went to Denver. But we were so hungry for a good quarterback because we went through the quarterback desert for at least a decade. We didn't have a halfway decent quarterback. So when we got Russell Wilson, I think all of us Denver Bronco fans were excited. And then he overnight he just seemed to forget how to play the game of football. Now I have a Peyton. I have a Hillman jersey. He wasn't a well-known player, but he played around the 2012-2013 season. Ronnie Hillman. He's actually not alive anymore. He died young from cancer. But he played in that 2013 Super Bowl against the Seahawks. Here's another Peyton Manning jersey in the orange creamsicle color. You know, I wish the Broncos would just wear their navy blue uniforms or go back to the orange crush unis. I have an Aaron Rodgers jersey from the Green Bay Packers. Again, looks brand new. This is at least 10 years old. In the side of the NFL jerseys, I also have, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, and so when they won the World Series I have a tennis Hello Kitty jersey. Oh, nice. So this, when they won the World Series in 2021, it has the World Series champion 2021 badge on the jersey. Ronald Acuna. I kind of wish I would have gotten Freddie Freeman, because Ronald Acuna, he wasn't even a part of that championship. He was injured. That's been the theme throughout his career. He's a player that's injured often. And then this is my Colorado Avalanche jersey. And Nathan McKinnon. And again, they won the Stanley Cup in 2022, so I had to buy it, of course. This one fits a little big on me. I find NHL jerseys to be quite large. They run on the large side. And then I also have some basketball jerseys. I have a Rashawn Rondo jersey. I got this back in the day at the mall for like $20. It's an Adidas. I'm like, this is $20 all day. And the last 2 jerseys I have are Jaylen Brown, who's no longer on the team, but I think I got this 2 or 3 years ago. I kind of like the black uniform. And then last but not least, I have a Jason Tatum jersey in their traditional old school green uniform. So yeah, that is my, hey, thank you very much. That is my jersey collection. I haven't bought any jerseys in a very long time because I feel like I have enough. I don't really feel it to be necessary to buy any more. But yeah, it's taken me many years to collect all those jerseys because it's quite expensive. Even the entry-level NFL jersey is like $129.99 now. They're very expensive. Wow, I've been streaming 50 minutes already. Can you believe that? You like my jerseys, guys? I went to a store that had a signed Larry Bird ball and jersey and a signed Tom Brady war jersey. The signed Tom Brady jersey must have been pretty expensive, as well as the Larry Bird. There's a mall in my area, and it's a pretty quiet mall. They've lost a lot of stores over the years. The third floor is almost empty. But on the weekends, the mall owner allows in vendors to come in with like all different sports cards. And like I just went on Saturday evening, and the whole first floor of the mall is like Pokemon cards, sports trading cards. And I'm actually thinking about going back there because this is specific NBA rookie that I want to buy. I want to get his rookie card, and I'm thinking they'll probably have it. But I've never seen so many sports trading cards in my life. Literally, the whole first floor of the mall is nothing but sports cards. And I saw quite a few Pokemon fans there picking up some cards. And since it's a pretty quiet mall, it's a smart business idea to have these vendors come in, because it brings a lot of people to the mall that wouldn't normally go to this mall. My friend pulled this rare Josh Allen card and got it PSA rated, and he got like $200 from it. Oh wow. But I wonder if he would have kept that for like another 10 years, if it would have been worth even more. It's crazy what certain things sell for. I remember reading that there was a Mario 64 game still in the packaging, and it sold, was it on eBay? For $1 million. And I had that game at one point brand new, but like, you know, in the moment, in hindsight, it's always 2020. But like in the moment, you never really think something's going to be worth so much money in the future. So it's always easy to say after the fact, like, I should have kept it in the packaging. Like, I mean, when you're a kid and you get a game, like, the first thing you want to do is rip it out of the package and play it. It's the same thing with the stock market, right? It's always easy after the fact, in hindsight, to say, you know what, I wish I would have bought that stock. I should have known better. But in the moment, you never really know. Hang on, guys. I gotta get more water. I'll be right back. Yeah, the worth would have went up, way up, if he had waited for Josh Allen to retire. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. it would have only probably gained value. But again, it's like delaying that gratification and putting it off into the future to get more money for it. A lot of people, they don't have that kind of patience. My favorite NBA team would be the Utah Jazz, and I am very excited for their upcoming season because they drafted Darren Peterson number 2 overall. I think he's going to be a hell of a player. An NBA scout said there's a 75% chance that he's going to end up being a Hall of Famer. They have a good nucleus, a young core of players, so I think the Utah Jazz will be a team that surprised some people this year. And then Darren Peterson's going to be a hell of a player. And then my favorite NFL team would be the Denver Broncos. D Money, you're a Lakers fan? You like nice. Man, that's going to be tough being a Buffalo Bills fan. You've had a lot of heartbreak in the playoffs, right? You guys lost to the Mahomes, I think, like 4 years. I think you've lost to Mahomes like 3 or 4 times, and then last year you lost to the Denver Broncos. Oh, the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, Josh Allen has had a lot of heartbreak in the playoffs. I remember, what was it, when he lost this past year in Denver, he was crying after the game. Is there a sub in? Okay, what are you talking about, D Money? I actually don't have a favorite soccer team. Yeah, well, the thing is that play will be debated forever. But the way I look at it is like, I think that Jaquan McMillan wanted the ball more than Cooks did. I mean, Cooks had a chance to follow through on that catch, but he allowed McMillan to rip it out of his hands. Oh, thank you very much, D Money. I appreciate it, bro. Are you a Lakers fan, D Money? Yeah, I just thought like that was kind of weak on Cook's part. He let McMillan rip it right out of his hands. You got to follow through and keep possession of that football. So you guys got, the Lakers got Luka Doncic. They have Reeves, and then like, I was kind of confused about like all that money they gave to Walker Kessler. Like, I know all about Walker Kessler because I'm a Utah Jazz fan, and that's where Walker Kessler is from. And he never did a thing with them, and he was injured all last season. So I can't believe the Lakers gave him, what was that, $140 million contract? It's crazy. The money these teams throw around now for like very average, subpar players is incredible. It was kind of cool to see the New York Knicks win the championship this year, though. You're from Spain? You're from Spain and you're a Lakers fan, huh? That's interesting. That's cool, though. So even though you're from Spain, you still follow like American sports. Oh, really? The Nets had all 3 of them at the same time. I don't know why, but I don't remember that. I remember when Kyrie Irving was there. I remember when KD was there, but for some reason, I don't remember when Harden was there. But I believe you. I love basketball and football and soccer. Nice. You know, the nice thing about sports is like it gets your mind off like the reality of life. and like your mind just goes into the game. So it's a nice like escape. I think that's what people enjoy about sports. It lets you escape from reality, and it brings you entertainment. I thought the Knicks just had one way more experiences in defensive players in the sport. Yeah. The interesting thing about the finals was, like, I think in almost every one of those games, the Spurs had a double-digit lead in all of those games, and they basically choked the game away. But I think the Spurs' problem is they didn't have enough shooters on the team, and it came back to bite them in the end. And I don't know if Wembanyama is going to have like a really long career. Okay, bye. I got to go. Have a good day. I subbed and liked. Hey, thanks a lot, Demon. Thanks a lot, D Money. I appreciate it. Hope to see you in a future stream. What's up, Amy? Jalen Brunson was unbelievable. Didn't he have like over 40 points in that game that closed out the series? Have a good one, D Money. See you soon. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, he dropped 45. My God. I wonder how the Mavericks feel that they got rid of him. Think about the Mavericks. They got rid of Luka Doncic and they got rid of Jalen Brunson. Like, how crazy is that? But, like, yeah, they get Cooper Flag, but that was, like, out of sheer luck that they won the lottery. But they got rid of, like, two really good players. Like, imagine if Dallas still had Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. Yes, him and Luka are both elite cornerstones for their teams. Yeah, but, like, what is Dallas doing? Like, I think, yeah, when they traded Luka Doncic, didn't they get, like, Anthony Davis back in return? And he's, like, already not on the team. He's with the Wizards now. Honestly, like, I'm kind of like rooting against the Dallas Mavericks because I don't really like Mark Cuban. Like, he's a businessman, but I feel like he tries to wear too many hats. Cooper Flag dropped 55 against the Lakers and still lost because he was having to do everything for his team. Yeah, because the rest of the team sucks. That's what happens when you trade away Brunson and Doncic. You know, it's... But yeah, bro, like, I'm really excited about Darren Peterson, man. He has crazy potential. Darren Peterson, like, I get it's summer league, and he's not playing against the NBA's best, but like, just the speed at which he plays the game, it looks like the game is slow for him. He looks very fluid physically, and he's already an elite shooter. He can get to the basket anytime he wants to. I think he scores with ease. I think scoring comes naturally for him. Yeah, I know Cooper Flag has potential, but like, go look at the Darren Peterson highlights, man. I'm telling you. I think Darren Peterson can be just as good as Cooper Flag. And like, for you, that might sound crazy to hear because you might not know a lot about Darren Peterson, but Darren Peterson can play. I think he's going to put the Utah Jazz back on the map. VJ, how do you pronounce that name? Oh, VJ Edgecombe. I've heard of him, but I don't know much about his game. You might be, how old are you, by the way? Because I was going to talk like some early 2000s basketball, but I don't know if you'd be too young. Okay. Plays for the 76ers. For me personally, maybe it's because like that's when I grew up watching basketball. Like by the time I started watching basketball, it was after Michael Jordan already retired. So like I started watching basketball like 1999, I believe, and that was the year the Spurs defeated the Knicks in the finals. And I just remember like the Lakers were like such a powerhouse with Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. And then like you had the Spurs dynasty with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. You know, you had the Allen Iversons, you had the Jason Kidds, you had the Stephon Marburys. Like I just like the brand of basketball they played in the early 2000s. Like the problem I have with the basketball now is like everyone's playing like Euro League basketball where like every team is living and dying by the three-pointer. And I enjoyed the early 2000s basketball much more than I enjoyed today's basketball. I love Tim Duncan. Like Tim Duncan was okay. My three favorite players, early 2000s: Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson. My three favorite players. I mean, Kobe Bryant, no explanation needed. We all know how great he was. I mean, those back-to-back championships he won in what was it, 09 and 010. If you look at the rest of that Lakers roster, with the exception of Pau Gasol, they weren't a powerhouse team by any means, but it was the greatness of Kobe Bryant that led them to 2 championships in a row. The Spurs dynasty was amazing. Tim Duncan, he wasn't an above the rim kind of a player, but like he was smarter than everyone else on the court. All right, nice talk, man. Hope to see you on a future stream. Worm Machine, what's going on? Are you into any sports? Do you watch any sports? Where are you into? You're into basketball? What's your favorite team? I'm a Utah Jazz fan. You like Kobe too? Yeah, it's like it's so sad he died so young, and the way that he died makes me sad. Him and his daughter in a helicopter crash, and they went out in foggy conditions. That the pilot should have known better. They should have never went up that day. So you don't have a favorite team, but you're just a fan of the sport. Yeah, those are my 3 favorite players of all time. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson. My 3 favorite NBA players of all time. I wish I could go back to the early 2000s. I enjoyed watching the Lakers and the Spurs. And the 76ers, the year they went to the finals against the Lakers. Like, that was a trash team that Allen Iverson took to the finals. Like, you go look at the roster of that 76ers team in 2001. If you take Allen Iverson off that team, they don't even make the playoffs. They probably don't even win 20 games. Yeah, Kobe Bryant was like the Michael Jordan after Michael Jordan. He was like the closest thing to Michael Jordan. Except he had a better three-point shot than Michael Jordan. But Kobe Bryant emulated a lot of Michael Jordan moves. So like a lot of Kobe's game came from Michael Jordan's game. And just how Kobe Bryant studied Michael Jordan. But that's why I don't put MJ in my top 3, because when I started watching basketball, Michael Jordan had retired already. I started watching basketball the following year in 1999. Kobe's ISO game was legit, man. He could not be stopped. The only person that could stop him was himself. That's why I have no respect for Kevin Durant, because he never won a championship where he was like the number 1 option. You know, he had to go to the Golden State Warriors to win a championship. When the previous year, when he was with the Oklahoma Thunder, I think They were leading the series 3-1, if I remember correctly. And then Golden State went on to win 3 games in a row and eliminated the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then Kevin Durant, instead of coming back the next year with revenge on his mind, he joined the enemy. So when he did that, I lost respect for him completely. And I think Kevin Durant spends far too much time responding to people on social media that don't even matter. And another thing about Kobe Bryant and a lot of players in that era is they played through injury all the time. You know, Kobe Bryant had this, great awareness and attitude towards the game of basketball. And, he knew people paid a lot of money to go sit in those seats and watch him play. And that's why he played through so many injuries, because he knew people were there to watch him play. And now it's like players nowadays, they have no shame with all this load management and taking games off. By the way, that ain't hate comment. I'm just suggesting to you. What do you mean? I didn't see a hate comment. I did not see a hate comment in there. About TikTok? TikTok. What do you say about... I didn't even see anything about TikTok, honestly. I don't even use TikTok anymore. I deleted the account. Funny you say that. Like, I was on TikTok for about a year, and I was repurposing a lot of my YouTube content on TikTok. And to be honest with you, I got no traction on TikTok. I got more traction on YouTube. What's going up, Starfizz? Blake Wheeler. It's about time you guys get in here. I've been streaming for about 70 minutes. Yeah, Worm Machine. Yeah, I tried the TikTok thing, but it didn't work. I had it for about a year. I had maybe 200 followers, and I've been doing YouTube for about 3 years, and I have over 21,000 subscribers. So I find YouTube has worked for me much better than TikTok. Like, I noticed, like, on TikTok, like, my views would be way down. And then even the views I did get, it didn't really translate to followers. Me personally, I think YouTube is a much better platform than TikTok. And even like the big TikTokers, they've made a lot of videos lately talking about their anger towards TikTok and how TikTok is no longer paying people that, like, I guess, like, people that are making content and getting paid for it, like people that monetize their channels. I guess, like, TikTok is paying them less now than what they used to pay them. And there was actually, like, I saw one YouTube guy where TikTok owes this guy $2,000 and they refuse to pay him. Oh, you have Discord too, huh? What's going on, Amy? Dang what? Yeah, I was kind of messing around with thumbnails before I started this live stream, and I settled on one. I think it came out kind of cool. I used artificial intelligence to create the football stadium. And then I took a Tom Brady image from Wikimedia Commons, which is like public domain, meaning it's free to use. and I cropped that into the AI thumbnail. I think it came out pretty good. I'm doing it more for the fun, not the money. There you go, man. That'll keep you doing it, honestly. Because sometimes when you do it for the money, you know, if you have a bad month and the money isn't there, sometimes you might want to give up. I don't see the point of like hating AI, because like you can hate it all you want, but it's still coming. Like hating AI isn't going to make AI go away. It's probably here to stay long term. So why not embrace it and learn how to use it to help you out? And so like if it's going to help, if it's going to save time on a thumbnail where you're not spending 3 hours to make a thumbnail, if it's going to save you time, then why not use it? Because if you can make good thumbnails with AI, save all that time and put more time into the actual video, why not? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, War Machine. There's nothing wrong with now. If you're using AI to help you with the thumbnails, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, if you're using AI to make like all of your videos, I can see why like some people would be against that. All right, Blake Wheeler, hope to see you soon, man. Yeah, I mean, AI should be used as a tool to help you out. I mean, I know I like it. If I ever have a question, I'll just go on Google, type in my question, and then AI has an answer for me right away. But I think a lot of the hate for AI stems from the fear of a lot of jobs being lost to AI. I think that's where a lot of the hatred comes from. I saw there was a software engineer who lost his job to artificial intelligence. Hey Wyatt, nice to have you back. Grok AI is my favorite. Is that like free to use, or is it like a subscription? Do you have to pay for it? Just for the reason it's the most human out of all AI. It gives more human responses. So is that free to use, or is it a subscription? It's free? Okay. Let me just write that down on my notepad. So it's Grok AI. I'm always looking for new things to use. Thanks for the recommendation, man. To be honest, I feel like if Kobe Bryant and Shaq liked each other more, I feel like they could have won another ring. So the interesting thing between the dynamic of their relationship is Kobe Bryant would always get angry at Shaq when they reported for a new NBA season. Like Shaq would always come back like completely out of shape, and Kobe Bryant would get pissed about that, because like if you're a sports athlete, you should remain conditioned throughout the year. So when it comes time for another basketball season, you're ready to hit the ground running. And Shaq would show up to camp out of shape. Oh yeah, they would have won more championships. I think they could have won like 5 together. They were unstoppable. Yeah, Worm Machine, I'll definitely check out Grok. I was using NVIDIA AI. It's quote unquote free, but like you only get like so many credits per month, and it's not a lot. So it's like if you make one YouTube Shorts video with it, it's like you've already gone through all the credits that they're gonna give you for the month. So like the free version doesn't even make any sense. Me personally, I take Kobe Bryant over LeBron James. A lot of records that LeBron James has is because he's played in the league for so long. He's a great player, probably I mean, you could definitely make the argument he's a top 10 player of all time, but I would take Kobe Bryant over LeBron, because like if it's the end of a basketball game, Who are you going to trust more to close out the game, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James? I'm picking Kobe 10 out of 10 times. I'd use a different AI for it. Yeah, I kind of have like a distrust for NVIDIA AI because I've never had an issue on my YouTube channel, but when I used NVIDIA AI to make a YouTube Shorts, I ended up getting like a warning strike on my YouTube channel. It wasn't a strike; it was a warning strike. So like I had to do like this stupid test on YouTube, and then like once you pass the test, it'll remove the warning from your notifications within 3 months. So like after that, I never used NVIDIA AI to make another Shorts video. Now I just make my own. Steph Curry had that team on locks. Splash. Oh yeah, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson you're talking about? Yeah, that was the last dynasty in basketball, was the Warriors. I think it's going to be more and more rare for there to be a dynasty in the NBA because these contracts have gotten completely out of hand. So like if you draft a top prospect out of the NBA draft and he pans out, once you got to pay him in 4 or 5 years, you got to pay him a whole boatload of money, and then it's really hard to fill out the rest of the roster. Everyone wants to shoot like Steph Curry and make threes now. People did a lot more. That's what I'm saying. Like the Warriors took that many threes because they were that good. They had Steph Curry, they had Klay Thompson, and as much as I don't like Kevin Durant, he's a great shooter. And then you got all these teams attempting way more 3-pointers than they should. They're not the Golden State Warriors, but they want to play like the Golden State Warriors. I'm not angry. I just don't like the brand of basketball now. It's just it's an analytically driven sport like a lot of other sports, and it's kind of ruining the game. Nothing wrong with that. But if you look at the Boston Celtics, when they lost that series against the Philadelphia 76ers, they were the far superior team to the 76ers. The Celtics had no business losing to the Sixers. But then you got the Celtics throwing up like 54 3-pointers a game. It's like, if you're shooting the threes and they're not falling on a specific night, because they're not going to fall for you every night, take it to the rim. Get to the free throw line so you can get out of that shooting slump. But like Joe Mazzulla, when they asked him after that 7-game loss, do you think you relied on the 3-point shot too much? And he immediately said no. So like there was no introspection, there was no reflection. It's like, I think Joe Mazzulla is like this analytical cyborg that he doesn't coach the game like a human being. And it's like you're trying to make all your decisions based off of analytics, but it's a game that's played by human beings. So you need to make adjustments. And Joe Mazzulla has no ability to make in-game adjustments. It's just keep throwing up the 3-pointers. I like the YouTube algorithm. I mean, it'll recommend videos I wouldn't normally come across that I end up liking. I forgot some people call soccer football. Yes. Steph Curry, when he's not hurt, even at age 39, if he wouldn't always be hurt, that team would go a long way. Yeah. I wonder where LeBron James is going to go. Although I wish he would just retire at this point. He's been in the league, 21 years? I mean, he's had his moment in the sun. It's like he's well past his prime. It's like I wish he would kind of just move on. I don't really have much of a feeling about Spain winning the FIFA World Cup because I'm not like a big soccer fan. I can appreciate the sport for what it is. I just could never personally get into it. Do you not like, you don't like Messier? He's the only player on Argentina that I can name. But yeah, Y8, I like the YouTube algorithm. I have no issues with it. But I was just like so confused why it was recommending Tom Brady videos to me this afternoon. It was like so random. I was so sad when Portugal lost because Ronaldo retired from the World Cup this year. Doesn't Ronaldo make like stupid money though? Let me look that up. How much between like what he gets paid to play the sport and all his endorsements? He makes ridiculous money. Let's see. Dude, look at this. Cristiano Ronaldo earns an estimated $300 million per year. That's crazy. Yes, Tom Brady is the GOAT. You know what? I mean, my thumbnail is Tom Brady and my intro is about Tom Brady. So I should be wearing a Tom Brady jersey, right? Gotta get this Tom Brady jersey on. There we go. Hey, this is a classic. Tom Brady is a GOAT. I don't know, but I mean, honestly, like somebody told me that recently. I'm like, I had to look it up. Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo earns $300 million per year. That's crazy. Soccer pays a lot. Like, if you think about some of the best football players, like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, they don't sniff 300 million per year. But I'm assuming like that's just not what the team's playing them. That's also like endorsements too. That's everything all together. Imagine making $300 million per year. I mean, that's going to be hard for him to retire. How do you turn away $300 million? I still don't know how Eli Manning at a 9-7 record and a bad surrounding team beat Brady twice. So I know one of the reasons is because like that Giants defensive front was very, very good, led by Michael Strahan. So when the Patriots played him in the Super Bowl, I think the Patriots offensive line had great difficulty blocking the defensive line of the Giants, and it disrupted the timing of Brady and his wide receivers. So you're asking me what I think the top 3 most popular sports are, like here in America? Oh, okay. So he's not going to play in the World Cup anymore. He's just going to play for... So Ronaldo plays, is it for Portugal? What's the team he plays for? See, it goes to show you like how much I know about soccer. Portugal, yeah. That's man, oh man, oh man. Well, yes, the thing. Like Ronaldo is what 40 years old, and the next World Cup is like in 4 years. So I don't think he's going to be playing in 4 years. The play where Eli Manning didn't get sacked and threw a prayer and had a... Yeah, that was... there was a lot of luck involved in that one. Yep. Yeah, that's something else. I mean, Eli Manning, he was like a sub 500 quarterback for the majority of his career. His stats aren't that great. His stats are very average. But he had 2 very good playoff runs, and like just those 2 playoff runs alone are going to put him in the Hall of Fame. He's getting older. That's why he already is set. So he's probably going to retire soccer altogether really soon. Yeah, I mean, I can't even fathom making $300 million per year. But can you imagine how much he pays in taxes? He did throw a lot of interceptions, yeah. You know, it was crazy. Peyton Manning's last year. It was interesting because Peyton Manning, throughout the majority of his career, carried the teams that he was on. And that very last year for the Broncos, he was terrible. He actually got benched for like 4 games during the regular season. And I remember they put Manning back as a starting quarterback, I think, in the divisional playoff game against the Chargers and late in the game. He led Denver back to win that game, got him back in the Super Bowl, and it was so cool to see like the Denver defense carry Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl. Yeah. It was nice to see Manning go out on top. And it was because of that Denver defense was phenomenal. Yep. He was terrible that year. But with that legendary defense that Denver had that year, and Manning still had this up here. So even though he had a noodle for an arm and he could no longer really throw the football, he could always get him into the right plays. I do watch hockey. I love hockey, and I was heartbroken these past NHL playoffs because I'm a Colorado Avalanche fan. And the Avalanche won the President's Trophy, so they finished the regular season with the best record in the NFL. And they swept the first round against the LA Kings. They were looking really good. It was looking really promising for them to return to the Stanley Cup. And somehow they got swept by the Vegas Golden Knights, and it made absolutely no sense to me at all. If you look at that roster that the Avalanche had, you can't tell me that Vegas has a better roster. I don't know what happened in that series. And it's like, I think like talent-wise, they run circles against the Vegas Knights, but I think the Vegas Knights are a physical team. They punched the Avalanche in the face, and the Avalanche never recovered. It kind of reminded me of like the 2001 Super Bowl with the Patriots versus the Rams, and like I feel like the Avalanche were like the greatest show on ice, and the Vegas Golden Knights were like physical, like that 0-1 Patriots team, and they just punched them in the mouth, and they could never recover. Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres actually had like their first successful year in a very long time. Like professional hockey. I don't watch much of like the regular season hockey, but once it comes like playoff time, I love playoff hockey. It's an awesome sport. College. What was the highest level you played hockey at? But I was so pissed off when the Avalanche got swept by the Knights. I couldn't believe it. A team that looked like the best team in the NHL for the whole season, they get swept in the second round of the playoffs. It made no sense. So I was happy the Carolina Hurricanes came back when they were down 2-1. They won the last 3 games of the Stanley Cup and won the Stanley Cup. So I was happy to see them eliminate the Vegas Golden Knights. It's like on pen and paper, 2 years ago the Bills were not supposed to beat the Ravens, but they did 27-25. I think the Ravens are done now. We're getting to that point to where Lamar Jackson is no longer going to be in his prime. And once he starts losing his athleticism and his speed, is he going to be able to be effective just standing in the pocket and delivering the football on time? Because a lot of his game is predicated on outrunning people. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Lamar Jackson's game is going to age very well, and injuries are going to start catching up to him. And once he can no longer outrun people, the probability of him getting injured goes up. And that's one of the reasons why Tom Brady had such a long career. He took care of his body. He ate well. Um, he always had a high level of flexibility to kind of minimize injuries. And, he was strictly a pocket passer, never had the athleticism, never had the greatest arm, but he had drive greater than most of anyone that ever played the game. And, he was always a quarterback that was on time with the football. He threw the football to a spot before the receiver was there. So that football came out quick, and he although he took a lot of sacks over his career because he played for so long. He also avoided a lot of sacks by getting rid of the football quick. Yep. I mean, even sometimes I wonder about Patrick Mahomes. Although he doesn't rely on his running ability as much as Lamar Jackson does, I feel like with Patrick Mahomes, like half his game is playing on time, and then the other half of his game is like ad-libbing and like playing backyard football. And once he no longer has the speed to escape the pocket, kind of like what happened to Russell Wilson, I'm not so sure that Mahomes' game is going to age well either. I could see like Joe Burrow. I mean, if the Cincinnati Bengals ever get a good offensive line and actually protect them, I think Joe Burrow, barring like getting consistently injured, I think Joe Burrow could have a long career, because although he can take off and run, I think Joe Burrow could strictly be a pocket passer. Lamar already declining at 28. Matthew Stafford just won MVP and had his best season at 37. Yeah. And we all know, like, Matt Stafford isn't running. Like, yep. I mean, I'd rather have a good pocket passer any day of the week. Like, I like the way Brady played. I like the way Peyton Manning played. Because, like, they were forced to be on time with the football because they had no athletic ability running-wise. So they had to get that football off quick, which means they had to be mentally sharp. They had to have quick processing speed to get that ball out in under 3 seconds. And if you think about how cerebral you have to be, like, you're coming to the line, you have to diagnose what defense they're in, right? You have to determine where you're going with the football, and you have to get the football out in less than 3 seconds. Same thing with Justin Herbert. If he had a good O-line and the team around him, he would be insane. Yeah. Bo Nix had a pretty good game against the Bills in the playoff game. And then he had to go and break his freaking ankle at the end of the game. And then if it wasn't for that, I believe in my heart that the Broncos would have beat the New England Patriots, because they almost beat them with Jarrett Stidham. So I'd like to believe Bo Nix's legs would have made the difference in that game, especially because of the way the snow is coming down in the second half. See, I think Bo Nix is way more clutch than Justin Herbert. Like, Justin Herbert has never been clutch his whole career. He's actually choked in the playoffs. Whereas Bo Nix actually has a good playoff win against the Buffalo Bills. Go back and rewatch that game against Buffalo. Nix had a good game. I remember that there was a game a couple years ago. The Chargers were playing Jacksonville. They had a huge lead, and they completely choked the game away. And when a team chokes like a 21-point lead like that, the quarterback is a lot to blame for that. Yeah, but Bo Nix, if you look at Bo Nix's season last year, he was clutch. He had the most fourth quarter comebacks in the league. Justin Herbert's never done that. It's okay, no problem. So I guess we're in disagreement over Justin Herbert, and that's fine. I think Justin Herbert's a good quarterback, but until you prove it in the playoffs, I'm not a believer. I think people get enamored with, like, his arm strength because he has really good arm strength. But, like, whenever I see Justin Herbert, it's like he's taking so many unnecessary hits. Like when he escapes the pocket and there's obviously nothing there, it's like, get down, don't take the hit. But instead, he stays upright and he takes so many unnecessary hits. Oh, you were grounding outside? I'm not saying Bo Nix is the greatest quarterback, but like Bo Nix last year, like he showed me, like he has the clutch gene. Yeah, but like Caleb Williams though, like the thing is, like he was making like some crazy passes though, but like you can't consistently make those kind of plays. I mean, he had a solid year. They made the playoffs, but I think he ad-libs a little too much and he doesn't play within the structure, because the Chicago Bears coach, I don't know what his name is, but he was saying like the offensive system we run here with the Chicago Bears, like the completion percentage should at least be 72%. And I don't even think Caleb Williams' completion percentage was 60 last year. And I think like the way the game's played in the NFL nowadays, I feel like your completion percentage should at least be 65 to 67%. It's just the lack of physicality that corners can play with. It's just so much easier for wide receivers to create space in this game nowadays. I mean, the cornerback can't get physical with the wide receiver past the first 5 yards. Yeah, but see, getting down 20 every game, I blame a lot of that on Sean Payton. I think his play calling was terrible. I think Bo Nix should be under center more. In his first 2 years in Denver, they've had no run game. Their offensive line cannot open up holes. So if you ask me, like there's so much pressure put on Bo Nix because they have no run game, like the pressure is on him to produce. And like they got Jalen Waddle in the offseason. I think he's a good wide receiver. But like if you look at what Bo Nix has to work with, they have no tight end. Their best wide receiver was Courtland Sutton. They have shitty running backs. J.K. Dobbins is a good running back, but he gets hurt all the time. So if you look at what Bo Nix has to work with, I think he's done pretty well his first 2 years in Denver. Like, what would he be like if he had a legit number one wide receiver? Oh, you're talking about Caleb Williams? Yeah. Yeah, I think, like, Caleb Williams, the problem with him is, like, he doesn't always play within the structure of the play. And then he starts playing that backyard football. And then, like, every once in a while, he'll make that ridiculous throw because he does have amazing arm talent. But I think it's more important to play within structure to be more consistent. Have Brandon Cooks. Yeah, but Josh Allen's a unicorn, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bo Nix isn't Josh Allen. Why wouldn't I go live? Why not? That's what it's there for, right? Yeah, if you take Josh Allen off the Buffalo Bills, they're not even making the playoffs. And I want to say always live. I might go live 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah, Josh Allen's a unicorn. Yeah, I don't know if I could even stream 7 days a week. That's a lot. Imagine Josh Allen with a defense like the Seahawks and wide receivers like the Seahawks. Yeah, I know. Or can you imagine if he would have had a Tyreek Hill in his prime and a Travis Kelce in his prime? Like, if you think about what Patrick Mahomes walked into, like he had a prime Travis Kelce and a prime Tyreek Hill. I often wonder if Patrick Mahomes hadn't been in such a great situation, what his career would look like now. And he also had Andy Reid coming in, so it's like I feel like that team was ready for him, right? Yeah, Buffalo needs to get some wide receivers. They have two good tight ends, but they have no wide receivers. Yeah. But now that he's had a knee injury, what is that athleticism going to look like? Because the thing is, not only do you have to recover physically from something like a knee injury, but like mentally, I'd imagine it's still going to be in the back of his mind, right? So when he has guys flying around his knees, is he going to get the jitters? DJ Moore, but like DJ Moore's like well past his prime though. See, this is a problem with football is these franchise quarterbacks are getting paid so much money that it's very hard to fill out the rest of the roster. You're gonna have holes somewhere, and that's why when you draft with what you think is going to be a franchise quarterback, if they show any promise, it's like you have to stack that roster and try to win a Super Bowl in that first 4 or 5 years, because once you have to pay that franchise quarterback, it eats a lot of that salary cap up, and then you can't pay everyone. He's coming off 3 1,000-yard seasons. Yeah, but like, how long's DJ Moore been in the league? I gotta look that up. I feel like he's been in the league for a while. DJ Moore. Let's look it up. Well, actually, let's look his stats up the last 3 years, okay? No. So, actually, no, it wasn't 3 straight 1,000 seasons. So, in 2023, he did have over 1,000 yards. He had, okay, so I'm going to tell you his stats the last 3 years, okay? 2023, he was on Chicago. 96 receptions, 1,364 yards, 8 touchdowns. Great season. Played in all 17 games. 2014, he also played in all 17 games. 98 receptions, 966 yards, so he didn't hit 1,000. And then 2025, he also played in 17 games. 50 receptions, 682 yards. So in the last 3 years, he hit 1,000 yards once. So the last 3 seasons he played in Chicago. But he does have 4 separate seasons where he surpassed the 1,000 yards for the season. 3 with the Panthers and then 1 with Chicago. Yeah, I mean, he's had a pretty good career. But last year, I don't know why he had such a dip in receptions. Last year, he only had 50 catches, like half the amount of the previous year, and he played all 17 games. You don't watch the NFL? Do you not like sports? Yeah, he had a really down year last year. But he still looks like he can be pretty solid for him. What do you think about Myles Garrett to the Rams and Aaron Donald coming? Is it like Aaron Donald potentially coming back like mid-season? Aaron Donald told Chris Sims he's still unsure about comeback. So I feel like if Aaron Donald come back, he's not going to come back to participate in training camp. He's not going to do that. But maybe like mid-season or at the end of the season, maybe he could come back. That would be ridiculous. Imagine like Aaron Donald with Myles Garrett rushing on one side. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I suppose like retirement is probably boring for a lot of these players. You know what I mean? Like they miss the high they get from game day. Like once you retire, you can't replace that high. Yeah, we'll have to. Only time will tell. Yeah, Aaron Donald retired when he was still in his prime. That was really surprising when Andrew Luck retired in the middle of that preseason game. You remember that? And the fans were booing him. But I don't really blame him because the whole time Andrew Luck was with the Colts, the offensive line sucked, and he took way too many hits, and he was worried about his long-term health, so he retired. You know, he was aware of head trauma, head injury, CTE. You know, he was a really smart player, so he wanted to get out before it really took a toll on him. Yeah, it happens though. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. He was one of the best passers the game ever seen. Oh, yeah. Phillip Rivers came back at the end of the year. Didn't he come back for the playoffs or something like that? Or at the very end of the season? Phillip Rivers, he was a big trash talker on the field. Yeah, I should have had this Tom Brady jersey on at the very beginning of the video. What was I thinking? Wyatt, did you see the beef between hang on a second. Did you see the beef between Tom Brady and Logan Paul? A lot of people think it's just manufacturing, that it's not real. But there was a YouTube video of Tom Brady smacking him in the face. Oh yes, I do remember the Colts got off to a very hot start with Daniel Jones. And then Daniel Jones got hurt, and they ended up 7-9. To think people thought they were going to win because of Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Oh my God, I remember that play. I think it was last year against the Broncos where Jonathan, like the Indianapolis Colts were in complete control of the football game. And the thing that got the Broncos back in the game was Jonathan Taylor was about to score a touchdown, and he let go of the football at the 1 yard line, and they didn't score the touchdown. I think Denver got the ball back, and that changed the momentum of the game, and then Denver ended up coming back and winning. What a stupid player. And I've seen more players than him do that, and I think it's so stupid. No, the Broncos beat the Colts. And the momentum in that game changed. No, they didn't. The Colts lost that game. The Broncos came back to win that game. Or is it the? I think it's no. I think it was the previous season. Hang on a second, because it was in no. It was in Denver. I think it was the. Let me check this. Hang on. No, I'm thinking about another Colts Broncos game. I'm thinking about another one. Was it 20? What game am I thinking about? No, you're right about that one, but like there's another game I was thinking about. Hang on a second. I gotta try to find this game because it's bothering me now. But you are right about that game specifically. Last year the Colts did win. Hang on. Yes. So the game, okay, Y8, the game I'm thinking about was the previous year. On December 15th, 2004, Colts running back Jonathan Taylor had a costly goal line fumble when he dropped the ball before he crossed the end zone. He literally let the ball go at the 1 yard line. And at that point, Denver was down by like at least 10 points. The Colts had all the momentum. And then after that play where Jonathan Taylor fumbled the football, the Broncos rallied to defeat the Colts 31-13. So that was the previous year that I was thinking about that. But it was that specific play with Jonathan Taylor fumbling the football instead of crossing the goal line that let Denver back into the game. Yeah, but do you really think Daniel Jones would do anything in the playoffs? Because Daniel Jones kind of reminded me of like a more mobile Eli Manning. Daniel Jones stats. I want to see his stats. What's his career? I want to see his career touchdown to interception ratio. Daniel Jones. No, I want to see career. So he's thrown 89 career touchdowns and 55 interceptions. So his interceptions aren't terrible. Not as bad as Eli. What's up, your brother? Hi, Arod. Yeah, he used to suck. I mean, he was good last year before he got hurt. Yeah, he had 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions last year. His rookie year with the Giants wasn't too bad. His rookie year with the Giants, he threw 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Yeah, Peyton Manning's touchdown to interception ratio is pretty good. But do you know who the best? I think the best is actually Aaron Rodgers. I think he has like a 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. But I think like Peyton Manning's comeback was incredible. When Denver signed him in 2012, he couldn't even throw a football 5 yards. He was still having nerve problems because of his neck injury. And yeah, when Denver signed him, they didn't know if he was going to be able to play or not. They were really taking a risk. And yeah, he could barely throw a football 5 yards when they first signed him. And miraculously, he was able to return to like not what he was with Indianapolis, but like he had a lot of good moments in Denver. Like 2013, he broke all sorts of records, threw 55 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. That offense was insane, and then they ran into Seattle's defense in the Super Bowl. No, he had 55 touchdowns that year. It's insane. So in 2013, I had Peyton Manning on my fantasy football team, and he threw 55 touchdowns that year. And I remember in week 1 of my fantasy league, I don't remember how many points Peyton Manning got me, but he got me a ridiculous amount of points on my fantasy team because he threw 7 touchdowns in week 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. But unfortunately, outside of Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas, the rest of my fantasy team sucked. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because he gets his passing yards and rushing yards. So you get a lot from him. Yeah, Josh Allen's incredible. He's fast. He has a cannon for an arm. No, he doesn't suck. But yeah, Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl, though. The clock's ticking. Oh, live. In the playoffs. Oh my God, I remember the Tim Tebow game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That slant to Demaryius Thomas. Best throw of Tebow's career. Yeah. I remember towards the end of Drew Brees' career, he was having arm issues. But he had a crazy high completion percentage. He was so smart. Yes, he was very, very accurate. I think Aaron Rodgers should have won more than one Super Bowl, but I think some of that's on Aaron Rodgers, though. I mean, he came up short in the playoffs a lot of times. But to be fair about Tim Tebow, though, like, he was not very accurate with the football. He also ran into the best teams in playoffs. You thought who retired? I think Aaron Rodgers is coming back for one more year, I think. Yeah. There was that one year where it was looking like it was possible. And then Aaron Rodgers choked again, or the team choked. That would have been a good Super Bowl, though, yeah? Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that is crazy to think we never got a Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl. It would have been more fun to watch than an Eli Manning versus Tom Brady Super Bowl. Yep, he did. I mean, it's safe to say that Aaron Rodgers did choke in the playoffs a lot. The ayahuasca didn't help him overcome his choking habits in the playoffs. I remember that. That was in Seattle, wasn't it? Yeah, I do remember that game. That was several years ago. Can you imagine that? 19-7, and you blow it in the last 2 minutes. Wasn't there a fumble in there somewhere? Russell Wilson had a 50-yard no-look touchdown, and they got the onside kick. Wow. Craziness. Back when Russell Wilson was good. And the moment he got to Denver, he seemingly forgot how to play football. Hey, The Wonder, nice to have you back. Yeah, did you see how bad Russell Wilson was? Specifically that first year in Denver with, oh my God, Nathaniel Hackett. What an idiot. Like, literally, the moment I knew Nathaniel Hackett wasn't going to last long in Denver was week 1 in Seattle. You got a quarterback you're paying like $50 million to per year. I think it was like 4th and 5. And instead of going for it, which I think they would have had a higher probability of getting the 4th and 5, they attempted like a 68-yard field goal in Seattle where the air is really heavy. And then predictably, they missed the field goal and they lost the game. It's like, if you're paying your quarterback $50 million a year and it's a 4th and 5, don't you think the probability is higher that he converts the 4th and 5 than you making a 68-yard field goal in the heavy air of Seattle? Yep, Actually, the year they lost to the Dolphins 70-20, I believe Sean Payton was the head coach. Yep. But the game that got Hackett fired was, I think it was the Christmas game against the Rams in LA. That's the game that got Hackett fired. And especially in Seattle, it's hard to make any field goal over 60 yards in Seattle because the air is very heavy. Because it's sea level. But right then and there, like, I knew Nathaniel Hackett was a moron. I knew he was going to get fired. I didn't think he'd last longer than a year. And there were 10 games into that season, he got fired. McManus, yeah, McManus has a good leg. He has accuracy issues sometimes. Oh, Matt Prater is better than McManus. Like, as far as his career is concerned. My prediction this year, the Broncos and Patriots are not winning 15 games like they did last year. That's not happening. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm trying to remember the year the Broncos got rid of Matt Prater. I think. Trying to remember. Stats. So. Yeah, I mean, he kicked in Denver up into 2013. Yeah, I don't know why Denver got rid of him. I don't have a PS5. I have an Xbox Series X. Yeah, because, like, Denver got rid of him in 2013, and he's been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's been in the league 12 years. So obviously he's still good. It's weird. Yeah, I just wonder why Denver would get rid of him when they got rid of him. I wonder what the reasoning was. Like, in 2013, he was 25 of 26, 96.2% field goal percentage. Field goal kicks, 40 to 49 yards, 8 of 8. 50-plus yard field goals that year, 6 of 7. So I don't know why Denver got rid of him. That's so weird. Yeah. If you have a great kicker, like, keep him. It's not easy to find a good, reliable kicker. Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how much does it really cost to keep a kicker if they're really good? It's like honestly, like, just give them a big signing bonus so it doesn't eat too much of the cap. Like, there's ways that teams can manipulate the cap. Like, you can give a player like a larger signing bonus, so there's less going into the actual contract. You can manipulate the salary cap that way. And then you can, like, restructure previous contracts and move the money more into the future to open up more money now. Like, there's so many different ways you can manipulate the salary cap. That's why you see, like, a lot of players, like, you'll see, like, players on every NFL team, like, restructure their contracts because the teams are moving the money around. Me as a PlayStation fan, I can agree that Game Pass is more better than PS Plus. Well, another thing I like about Xbox more personally is I like the layout of the Xbox controller more than the PlayStation controller. I like how the thumbsticks are kind of scattered like this. I don't like the thumbsticks completely adjacent like the PS5. I think like the Xbox controller is like as close to perfect of a controller as you can get. Who do you think is the best running back in the NFL right now? Maybe like Bijan Robinson? Jahmyr Gibbs is really good too. Christian McCaffrey, he gets hurt too much. The thing that makes a great running back is like, I feel like something that a lot of people overlook is like patience. Like when a running back has patience, it helps with their vision because they wait for holes to open up. You got some running backs where they have all this speed, and then they hit the hole too quick before a hole opens up, and they're running right into the back of their offensive lineman. You know who had really good vision and patience was their running back for Pittsburgh, Bell. What was his first name? I know his last name was Bell. Le'Veon Bell. If you watch his highlights, the way that he ran, he would get the football and he would almost stand there for a split second, wait for the holes to develop, and then he would hit the hole. So he would have like tremendous patience and vision. Oh, really? Yeah, but if you watch Le'Veon Bell's game, man, like he had great patience and he had great vision. He wasn't the fastest guy, but most of his runs were positive runs. He didn't get tackled for a loss all that much. The way I fall on religion, I don't really talk about religion too much on here. I would say I'm more of an agnostic, meaning I don't dismiss the notion of God, and I also don't accept it 100%. Like for me, like seeing is believing. I have a hard time putting faith into something that I haven't experienced. But I don't necessarily like completely dismissing that there is a God. So I like to remain agnostic, meaning it could be true or it could be false. And maybe someday God will show up in my life and show me that he actually is here. But until then, I will remain agnostic. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch was a bulldozer, that's for sure. Like that Seattle, like that Super Bowl against the Patriots, man, if they would have just gave him the damn ball, they had 3 shots to get it in the end zone. You telling me Marshawn Lynch couldn't have gotten 1 yard in 3 tries? Like that's when like people overthink the situation. And the Seahawks overthought the situation instead of just keeping it simple. The LT was insane, yeah. My favorite running back growing up was Terrell Davis. Put it this way, if it wasn't for Terrell Davis, I don't think John Elway would have ever won a Super Bowl. Like John Elway owes Terrell Davis dinner for the rest of his life. Because like that first Super Bowl against the Packers, without Terrell Davis, they don't have a shot against the Green Bay Packers. That probably would have been a blowout. And then I don't know if John Elway comes back that for one more year. If he would have lost to Green Bay, I don't know if he would have came back. Because at that point, he would have been 0-4 in the Super Bowl, and I think he may have given up. But the fact Terrell Davis went off against the Packers and he was a beast. I think it made John Elway want to come back for one more year, and they ended up winning back-to-back Super Bowls. But John Elway was much better in the Super Bowl against the Falcons than he was the previous year against the Packers. Yeah, no kidding. I remember that. And I think Bill Belichick deserves, all of us, an explanation as to why he benched Malcolm Butler, the best cornerback on that team that year. That's messed up. See, that's where some of Bill Belichick's messaging falls flat. He always said he made decisions with the team's best interest in mind, but then you take your best cornerback off the field for the most important game of the season. Whether he messed up behind the scenes or not, it's like, it's one game, play him. But I'm talking about that Super Bowl. I think it was wasn't it against the Eagles? Isn't that the one Malcolm Butler got benched on? It was that Super Bowl, I think. Yeah. All right, Y8. I've had a blast talking sports with you. I've been hoping to get like a bigger group of people here on a regular basis, because like ultimately, to be honest with you, I would like a lot of my YouTube live streams to be like sports related, because I like talking sports. But I am trying to find my audience right now. So hopefully over time, the more YouTube lives I do, I'll start getting more people in here, and we can have a lot of fun sports conversations on here. But it's getting kind of late for me here. I have to get up early in the morning for work. But I've enjoyed talking with you, Y8. It's been fun. I appreciate your time in here, and I hope to see you on a future stream. It's been fun, man. I can give you a shout out on my YouTube. Hey, I'd appreciate it, man, if you could do that. Hey, any little bit helps. And all right, man, it sounds good. Yeah, just keep a lookout for my live streams. I'm gonna try to start in my YouTube posts. I'm gonna try to start like putting when I'm gonna stream, so people know ahead of time. But it was nice talking to you, man. Thank you for your time. Look forward to seeing you in a future stream, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, man. All right, take care.